Hello everyone, this is Art from the Bookshelf Odyssey, and I'm getting on here today to do kind of a special announcement video, as well as wrap up a few things and lay out some plans I have for this coming year on the YouTube channel. First of all, I'm not recording on my phone like I usually do. I'm trying out the camera on my laptop. The setup is definitely easier, but I'm not sure as to the quality compared to my iPhone, or if I want to branch out and get a different kind of camera setup. Anyway, I'm just playing around with the technology to see what works and what doesn't. So that's just the fun part of my channel. The video looks fine, so on we go. I'm really looking forward to what's going to be coming on my channel in this new year. First of all, I had asked for people interested in doing a buddy read with me, and I had a few folks reach out to me, and I really appreciate that. So I've got some buddy reads planned, one for February and then one for April. So if you're still interested in doing a buddy read with me, definitely let me know. I would really enjoy that. I think we're going to try it. But the big announcement I have that I'll be starting the week of January 17th is I'm going to be doing a read-along of Great Expectations. Along with that, I'll be doing a weekly deep dive into the portion that we read for the week. So Great Expectations is one of my favorite of Dickens's books. I think it's one of his classics that is the most accessible if you've never read a Dickens before. And it's not as thick as some of his other ones can get. But it's such a classic story, and I'm looking forward to taking time to read through this and exploring what he wrote in wrap-up videos for the week. So what we'll do is I was going to follow the original serial publication plan. That would have taken about 35 weeks, doing about one to two chapters a week is how it was originally published. And that was maybe a little slower than I wanted to go. So what we'll do is take two of his publication sections every week. So the first week we'll be reading chapters 1 through 4. And the second week I think is 5 through 7, something like that. So, and we'll see how I can manage that. We might slow it down. We might speed up. We might have to take a week off here and there. I didn't really schedule any timeouts for the reading, but it should take about 16, 17 weeks to get through. So a couple of a month project. I'm hoping that this will encourage you as well as myself as I read this to slow down our reading, to really savor the words that Dickens wrote, to think about what message he's trying to write, to explore the story on a deeper level. And whenever we get done with that, if we had a lot of fun, we'll pick another classic. It could be Dickens, it could be some other Victorian writer or modern classic. I don't care at this point. I haven't thought too much beyond this one. This is something I really wanted to do pretty much since I started my channel. So I'm excited at this new year we're going to get to do that. So be looking out for some coming announcements about our deep dive into Dickens. And that will begin the week of January 17th with chapters 1 through 4. The publication chapters for that are chapters 1 and 2, part 1, and then part 2 is chapters 3 and 4, if you want to break it up in that way as well. You can get the idea of what it would be like to wait a whole week for a new installment of Great Expectations. But then, like I said, every Friday during the read-along, I will be putting out a video where I discuss that week's chapters. I'll talk about maybe favorite quotes, the themes that I see come up, what I learned from that chapter, what just the mastery of Dickens's language, things like that. And along the way, I would love for you in the BookTube community to join with me, perhaps even on a video discussion. If that's something you'd like to do, to come on my channel and we'll do a video wrap-up interview together, I'd love for that. I'd love for you to be a part of that. You know, that way, if you don't want to commit to the whole book, you can come on for one episode, you can come on for a couple of wrap-ups, whatever. And we can discuss that week's chapter. I think it's more enjoyable when I have somebody to discuss it with. So I'd love for you to come on with me to talk about that week's chapter. So if that's something you'd be interested in doing, being a part of my videos, hit me up in the comments, or I'm on Voxer now. You can send me a message on Instagram. However you want to get a hold of me, I'll get back to you. So that's our deep dive into Dickens coming in just a couple of weeks. So I'm already going to start getting things prepared for that, so I can have a little bit of a cushion as far as the videos go. Some things I'm trying to record ahead of time, but we'll see how I do at that. The other thing I want to talk about is on my Christmas podcast, I came up with a cozy Christmas reading challenge. There are 12 reading prompts that all are taken from different Christmas movies, and I will have that information linked below. If that's something you'd like to be a part of, I'm doing and I'm doing that throughout the year on my Christmas podcast, where I'll be talking about books over there. You know, when I find a hobby I enjoy, I just kind of jump in with both feet. So, but I'll have more information linked below on that. And if you listen to my Christmas podcast, I've talked about it over there. I just wanted to extend that to you all on this channel as well. That would be something you might want to participate in throughout this year. And it doesn't have to be Christmas books. I mean, I say you get a bonus point if you pick a Christmas book to read for that prompt, but in the end, the points are meaningless. So you just get bragging rights. But if that's an interest to you, you can check out my other podcast and follow along and read along with us. Okay. And then I did participate in the Cloak and Dagger Christmas. That's a reading challenge hosted by Kate Howe. I had fun. I read some great mysteries this month. I didn't read a ton of them. I didn't quite even get to what I wanted to get to, but that's okay. I enjoyed what I read. And so basically I only achieved the amateur investigator level. So there's always next year, I suppose. The mystery I enjoyed the most is one I didn't even plan to read for that challenge. And that book is called Keeping Secrets by L.A. Dobbs. And it's part of the Sam Mason mystery series. It's book 2 in the series. And it follows the chief of police. His name is Sam Mason. And here's what the book is about. It says, when longtime White Rock resident Mike Donnelly is found dead at his hunting camp, it appears as if the tragic death was by his own hand. But a gut feeling tells Chief of Police Sam Mason otherwise. Is it any coincidence that Mike's family farm sits smack in the middle of a parcel of land that greedy Lucas Thorne desperately needs to complete the development of his resort? Sam and Sergeant Jody Harris's line of questioning stirs up a hornet's nest. When Thorne threatens to expose a secret from Sam's past, Sam realizes the corruption in White Rock runs deeper than he ever suspected. And when a startling discovery surrounding slain Officer Tyler Richardson is brought to light, Sam and Joe discover that you can never tell who might be keeping secrets. And so that's book 2, and I really recommend you read them in order. And the first book is called Telling Lies. What I like about this book series is that each book has its own mystery to solve, but there's an overarching mystery that is going on. And in this book, boy, everyone seems like they have a secret that they're trying to keep from everybody else. But it's just a really fun mystery read. And the first one I read, I gave it about a 3 to 4 star read. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't quite sure yet. And by reading the second one, this was a 5-star read for me, and it's definitely a series I'm going to be finishing. It looks like there's 6 books in the series right now, and I'm on board. That second one was really just interesting. The characters are becoming more intriguing. The plot was kept me guessing till the end. I thought a very tragic ending, in fact. So I don't want to say any more than that, but I'd recommend that series. And unfortunately, it doesn't really fit any of the prompts that Kate had for this year's Cloak and Dagger Christmas, but that's all right. I enjoyed reading it. So now what's coming up on my channel? Well, I'll continue to do the podcast, and I'm going to try to make those as much of a video podcast like this as I can for those who watch on YouTube. Otherwise, you can listen to it on my Buzzsprout page, and that link will be in the show notes if you want just the audio of the podcast. But over the next month or two, I will be talking about Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and she wrote the famous horror story, The Yellow Wallpaper, as well as the novel Herland, which are the two of her works that I've read, some short stories as well. But over the next probably 2 months or so, every other week, I'll be releasing a story of hers that I read on the podcast. The one that's coming up first is The Yellow Wallpaper, and that is a creepy, creepy story that she wrote after suffering from postpartum depression. And it's a doozy. It's a classic for a reason. It's a good story. And then interspersed between that, I want to have some episodes where I talk about her a little bit and some of what she wrote. So I am looking for a couple of guests to come on the podcast and on the channel to talk more about Charlotte Perkins Gilman and her stories, especially The Yellow Wallpaper or Herland. So if that's something that would interest you, let me know and we'll arrange a time and get you on the podcast. As well, I'm looking for authors to interview, especially new authors or indie authors. I'd especially love to help you get the word out about your books and your writing. So if you're an author that's looking for some publicity, let me know. I'd love to have you on, do an interview with you. Got some book tag videos coming out. I've got a couple of discussion type videos I'm planning to do here over the next couple of months. One that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm still trying to kind of formulate my thoughts on it, but I want to talk about why men should read Jane Austen. And I have a whole story behind why that's even a passion project of mine. I love Jane Austen. I love, Elizabeth Gaskell. I love Little Women, that book. It's, those books that a lot of guys say, that's a woman's book. I don't want to read that. That's a girl story. And I have strong feelings about that. These ladies are classic writers and brilliant writers and excellent writers, and guys, they deserve our attention. So I have that I've been kind of working on and thinking about. I'm hoping to have released here in the next month or two, but we'll see if I can get something together with that. So that's kind of what's coming up here in the near future. I have some more long distance plans I'm hoping to do, but I'll just kind of sit on those for right now. But I am just so grateful for all the people I've met through this channel already. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please like and subscribe this video. That's probably the best thing that you can do to help people find this channel. And if you are interested in being a part of the deep dive into Dickens, let me know in the comments below. And especially if you are interested in coming on a video wrap up for the week of one of the chapter sections, let me know too, and we'll arrange something. But I would love to get you all on board with this too, and hear from you and get your perspective on this book. And also let me know if you are interested in coming on to talk about Charlotte Perkins Gilman, her stories, the Yellow Wallpaper or Herland, or anything that she's written else. I'm game to talk about. I want to explore her a little bit more on my podcast. So let me know about that. So until next time, I hope that you are enjoying what you read and never stop exploring your bookshelf. Take care.